What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I'm going to be previewing Borderlands 3. Now, Borderlands 3 releases on the PS4, Xbox One, and on PC on September 13th. So this is the return of that magnificent, the original looter shooter, right? And this is a game that I think in the terms of the actual game, in terms of what we've seen people play, in the terms of what people have said, and they invite a lot of people out. And can you always trust people that get flown out to play these games? No, not always, considering the company pays for them to go, and they get a lot of things like that. It's hard to necessarily trust their opinions on the game. They could be skewed a little bit. But generally, the game looks very, very good. I'm personally very excited to play this game. I've pre-ordered it. I'm getting it day one. I believe this really is a return, and that this game is going to be something special. And Borderlands, to me, is it's a franchise that I jumped in rather late. Okay, I didn't play the game when it first came out. I believe I played Borderlands 2. I bought that game when that game originally came out. So I'm a little late to the Borderlands franchise, but it's a franchise that's grown on me, and it's actually grown on me mainly. The biggest thing that's elevated it is Tales from the Borderlands that jumped really into that universe and made it a lot more fun. Now, and some of those characters are actually even in Borderlands 3, although they snubbed Troy Baker and things like that, which we won't talk about. Claptrap. There's a lot of things, and that's the biggest thing. There's a lot of things outside of the game in terms of Randy Pitchford that make this game a lot harder to sell, a lot harder than it really should be. Because at its core, this game seems like a very, very solid shooter. It seems like a shooter that's going to have many, many guns, okay, more guns than you could ever imagine. And just the possibilities there and the amount of fun that I do think this game is going to provide, and especially being able to play it with others as well, the game's going to be rather good. I feel like this game is overall going to be and people are even talking about it towards the beginning of this year as this is a very legitimate Game of the Year contender, and I think it could be. This is a game that I think people are going to spend many, many hours, 40, 50, 60 plus hours playing. I 100% believe that. I think people are going to find it very, very enjoyable. People are going to constantly come back, and people are going to say, fundamentally what this game is just a ton of fun. This game is awesome. I've always liked the way the graphics look, the kind of shading and just the artwork in general looks really, really good. And the world, too. The world of Borderlands is a pretty awesome world. And again, it's a world that I think has grown on me. The characters, all having such out there kind of personalities and being a game that really is just in general out there, not necessarily like with it. It kind of makes it like a really cool thing, a really cool like property that exists that you don't really get with a lot of other games. And like I said, this really was one of those games that you open a chest and you're just given, you're given a gun or you're given ammo or you're given whatever, and with how that has grown, not just in Borderlands, but in gaming in general, this is a chance for them to show kind of who's king, right? That things can be fair, things can be balanced. You're going to get good items no matter what. It's going to be well spaced out. You're never going to, there's not going to be the massive, massive grind. And hopefully, for the love of God, there's not going to be any outrageous microtransactions. Now, they've already had their own fiasco and own PR stunt with that. Again, Randy Pitchford saying, we're not doing anything like that, to then find out that there is cosmetics, but he meant besides cosmetics. So there's already some shady stuff going on. And again, just with Randy Pitchford in general, there's some shady stuff going on. Now, we don't know what's true, what's false. There's a lot of things that have been said about him. There's a lot of things that have been said just in general, by him, that definitely can be huge, huge problems if turned out to be true. However, we're just looking at the game, and the game itself, and I just feel like all the outside noise, all of that outside noise, and there is quite a bit of it, is harder to sell your game, because it's like, well, do I want to support him? Do I want to support the company that works for him, that he hired? Where's the line there? And ultimately, it's going to be, it's just how, are people going to enjoy the base game? And I think they will. I think, honestly, the only thing that can ruin this, because this game, I do, again, believe is going to be fundamentally good. Like, the game is going to automatically, this is one of those games that you just kind of know going into it, that at the very least it's going to be an acceptable game. It's going to be a 7 out of 10, say, at the very least. I'm not saying it is a 7 out of 10. I think it's probably an 8 or a 9. I think it's going to be a very good game. But I think just from the beginning, you know that this game can be something good. What can hurt it is that outside noise. What can hurt it is if they do show not I mean, they can show people that they're the best at doing this, that they started, that they're there for the fans, and that they don't want to do what others have done and kind of maliciously do stuff to fans. They can show us that, or they can show us that they are the kings and they know how to scam us better than anybody, right? That they can make the grinding worse than ever, but maybe make it the most. We're gonna have to look for those kind of smaller things. That are they scamming us? Are they doing those kind of like microtransactions, loot things, all the stuff that we look down upon by other companies? Are they gonna do it? But because it's Borderlands, or because it's them, because it's Gearbox, are we gonna write passes off to them? And we have to be careful about that, and we have to be aware that I feel like that could happen. I want to believe in the best of these people, and I feel like the people that are making the game, that I do believe in them. It's not them, though. It's the people that are above them. It's the decision makers. It's the one that wants money. It's the ones that want this to be profitable. We don't know where they've set their expectations for Borderlands. They could want this game not just to sell well initially, but we're in an age where a lot of companies with a lot of games want these games to last years, rather than like 1 year and then we can support it a little bit. We'll have a little DLC, whatever, and we'll get ready for the next game in like 2 to 3 years. We're past that. We're at the point now where, for a lot of games, we're past that point. For some games, we're not, and I really do appreciate those games. But for the other games, they are, we need to support this game. We need to have people constantly putting money into it and playing it for like 2-3 years, which I don't get behind. I don't agree with, and I hope that Borderlands isn't like that. Sure, do I want to be playing this game for a couple months, maybe even a year? Yeah, I probably do. Will I personally do that? I have a very hard time sticking with any game whatsoever, and even beating a game. So do I see myself playing this game past, say, October 30th, October 31st? Like, once it gets into November with Death Stranding, Star Wars, Pokemon, Doom, and so many more, I don't see myself. I don't even know what my brain is going to do at that point. But that's just me. I'm assuming that they want people to play this game throughout the rest of this year and into next year. I assume they're going to have a lot of support for this game. There's going to be a huge DLC, stuff like that. I assume that. I assume they expect this game to be top-notch and be a Game of the Year contender. Again, what people were kind of expecting from this game when it was first announced, from when people were playing it. Because, again, it got overall very positive talk. And some people did offer criticism that went to see that, and I do appreciate that. There are some things wrong with the game. The game won't be perfect. But I think overall we're looking at a very, very solid game that I hopefully doesn't get held back or hurt by its makers, its maker, the head guy, or anything that they could do with the loot boxes, microtransactions in general in the game. Those are all just my opinions, guys. Let me know in the comments below, what do you all think of Borderlands 3? Are you excited for it? Are you going to get it? I know Randy Pitchford has turned a lot of people off. I know a lot of people on the internet have said they were going to get this game. They're not getting it anymore because of him. Are you guys one of those people? Let me know also in the comments. And there's nothing wrong with anybody's opinion, by the way. So let me know all that stuff in the comments below. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, podcast. Now hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And thank you, as always, for watching. I hope to see you on the next video.